video. As you can see, sorry, I'm like leaning into the mic a lot. It's kind of weird with this filming setup. I'm filming with my phone tilted on a shoe to balance it. Anyways, I'm back with another video doing a whisper ramble on NBA basketball. Yes, I know. Something that on this channel was the most popular thing on the channel, and now I feel like it's the least popular thing on the channel now. Yes, but tonight we are going to be whisper rambling about the upcoming NBA in-season tournament. Yes, the in-season tournament is actually, well, technically finally arrived, but it's almost over. Also, technically, the games have been set for the playoff-style single-game elimination to, I guess, see who goes on to Vegas, who plays again to see who goes on to the championship cup game. I think it's a cup, right? And whoever wins becomes the NBA's first ever NBA in-season tournament champions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We have here the complete bracket of the NBA's in-season tournament. I always just keep forgetting that this is like a real thing, and that a lot of games have been played that were really important for the seeding and everything for the in-season tournament. Not only games played, games won, but also points, like the amount of points scored, were also carried into huge consideration when making these brackets and putting them in the right spot and teams getting in and out. Some teams even had to win. Some teams had to have won with a certain number of points on the board to even make it into the tournament, which is kind of crazy to think about. But December 4th, 5th, we have the first round. December 7th, we have the second round, the semifinals that are going to be placed in Vegas, which, God, I want to go to them so bad, but I'm still obviously in New York City right now. My TV's on in the background, with Carfax. Anyways, and then the championship game is obviously also played in Vegas. It's December 9th, so it's coming up very quickly. So for the Western Conference side of the bracket, the 1 seed plays the 4 seed, the 2 seed plays the 3 seed. The 1 seed are the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're actually playing the worst seeded team in the Phoenix Suns. Oh my God. Second seed, the Sacramento Kings will play the 3rd seeded New Orleans Pelicans. Very interesting there. On the flip side, on the East Coast, we have the 1 seeded Milwaukee Bucks taking on the 4 seeded New York Knicks. Yes, the 4 seeded New York Knicks. That's going to be, maybe a telltale of an upcoming video you guys might see in recent time, but let's go Knicks. And the 2 seed is going to be the Indiana Pacers taking on the Boston Celtics, which is also going to be a great matchup. Let's check out the West Coast first, and I guess my least favorite, of the matchups. No offense to these teams. We'll take a look at the 2 seed facing the 3 seed in the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans. Now just Jake Baller ASMR brain here, not really looking up any stats or player availability or anything like that. This is actually really interesting of a matchup between 2 young teams with young stars trying to prove themselves in the NBA. Now last year, of course, the Sacramento Kings had the biggest proving themselves of, maybe any team, and you could argue in sports last year with being a team that's been probably one of the worst teams when it comes to not making the playoffs. Well, I guess they were the best team at not making the playoffs since about, 2003, 4, 2002, something crazy like that. They haven't made the playoffs in over 20 years, and they finally did last year, and this year they've been revving themselves back up into trying to get that spark that they had at last season with the light the beam craze that went on in the NBA. Then you have the New Orleans Pelicans, who are a team that still haven't really found the right step. They take, 2 steps forward, 7 steps back, 8 steps forward, 9 steps back. It's always just continue back and forth, and they're still just very mid, even though they're a team that has arguably maybe the next face of the NBA in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, a great scorer. That team is really complete. But same thing with the Kings. They're also a pretty complete team, and obviously again made the playoffs last year. It's going to be a very feisty game. Now I think all these games are going to be played at their home court, so I'm assuming the 2 seed will have the home court advantage here with it being played in Sacramento, which I think is going to give a big rallies around these Sacramento Kings fans. Between these two teams, just in my own head, without looking at anything, I'm going to give it to the Kings. I think the Kings are talented enough, and I think they are prepared enough to really make a big push. Not only this season, but, I mean, the start of the season has been pretty lackluster for them because, of course, a lot of injuries and just having to get back and do that sort of vibe of like, hey, you know, we played amazing last year because of this craze that went on, and we really need to get back to that sort of play style again. And I think they're going to get there, and I think this will be a good step and a good first little move to really get there again. Now, I think, of course, the Pelicans could win this, of course, if Zion is playing Zion basketball and Domantas Sabonis and whoever else on that team is not going to be stopping Zion whatsoever. So it really comes down to, is this going to be a Zion Williamson game? If this is a Zion Williamson breakout 40-plus point game, him doing absolutely everything, yeah, I think the Pelicans can 1,000% win this game. But in my opinion, it has to be one of those games where this Pelican team cannot really mess up a lot for a young team that's still trying to figure themselves out. Even though they have a lot of great veterans like CJ and Valanciunas, they have good coaching. They just need to put the pieces together, and I just don't think they will in that game, so I'm picking the Kings. Then we have the best matchup, I think, of definitely the Western Conference with the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. I do not get how the NBA let this happen in the first round of this so-called championship series, but I have no idea what is going to happen in this game at all. I can see this game being a blowout victory for Phoenix, absolutely destroying the Lakers in this little tournament game and just being kind of a joke on Twitter. I could also see the Lakers doing the same thing to Phoenix. Like, these two teams are so back and forth when it comes to just being really bad because their stars aren't playing well and injuries and stuff like that, which I can knock on wood, not saying anything, but these two teams are so up and down. But these two teams, when they are playing at their best, almost unstoppable NBA title winners at their peaks. What version of the teams are we going to see? I have no clue. So with that being said, if I had to pick who I think is going to win, I guess I just have to pick the team that's been the most consistent, the team that I've seen the most play of, and the team I think that's just going to have it in them. And I think a team that's going to want to set a tone for the rest of the league in this season and being the first ever champion of this sort of new cup, title, whatever. I'm picking the Lakers to beat Phoenix. It's a Laker home game, and I think LeBron James is going to come out furious. I think he's going to be, I don't want to say finals LeBron, but he's going to look, in my opinion, knock on wood, no jinxing, really good in this game. And, I mean, even if Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal are both playing, and Devin Booker, that's scary. And I think that is when my opinions and thoughts will turn. But if it's still just a KD Booker, Beal, KD sort of matchup that they've been doing for quite some time, I've been watching a lot of Phoenix Suns game, and even with just a dynamic duo on that team, that team still doesn't look anything super crazy or unbeatable like they should if they have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I think they're very beatable like that, so I'm picking the Lakers to move on. We have the Lakers facing the Kings in the second round, and I'm going to come back to that because I have a discussion to talk about sort of that matchup. I'll go on to the Eastern Conference now on the 1 seed and the 4 seed matchup of the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks now. I'm going to make this quick. I think the Bucks are going to win, but the Bucks are extremely beatable, very beatable. They are not the super team we thought they were at the beginning of the year. They're not the super team that are going to be that, we all think they're going to be at the end of the year. Right now, they're really good, but if the Knicks don't nick, if they don't do what they usually do and fold in big time situations, and put it on Milwaukee like no one saw it coming. And I think it's going to be interesting if that does happen, because the Knicks are also a team that's very streaky, and if they play hot, they might find themselves in a title game. I'm just saying. Moving on, we have the Indiana Pacers going up against the Boston Celtics. This is going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to be a very underrated matchup, and I think it's going to be a matchup that is going to scare Boston Celtic fans. I think this is going to be a whoa in a big-time playoff atmosphere type vibe. The Indiana Pacers are kind of in it. They're kind of legit. They're a team that, man, if you actually face off against them in a playoff series, it will startle some teams. And I think this game against Boston will really, really, really show that. But it's not enough to beat Boston, so I'm picking Boston to move on. I think it's going to be a scare game. This might be a Jason Tatum hits a game-winning type of game. I think it's going to be down to the wire, back and forth. But I think, of course, the clutchness, the intensity that this game will get to at some point, because again, it is single game elimination, might crack the Pacers just a little bit. But I think, the Celtics are really going to want this, and I think they're going to get it. So, second round, got the Bucks and the Celtics. For the Bucks and the Celtics, this is going to also be a very interesting matchup, because this is not, and I have to really put this into perspective, this is not the NBA playoffs. This is not for the NBA championship. This is for, I think it's like $500,000 and to be the mid-season cup champs. I think a lot of these teams are going to love that. I think a lot of these teams are not going to care if they win or lose these games. These games are just games. They just add on tally points to the actual end goal of the playoffs, or playoff seedings, in winning the actual thing that people give a damn about, and that's the NBA championship. I don't think anyone is still going to really care about this cup if the Lakers win or the New York Knicks win. I think no team, no person is going to really care all that much. Also, let's take that into consideration of what team I think is going to want to give the extra to be a cup winner. And some teams are not really going to care. Some players, some veterans, they're not going to really care all that much. So the Bucks and the Celtics, I think, is going to be a really great matchup. But for a single game elimination, when these teams first played against each other, the Celtics actually won the game. I think it was like a 3-point victory. It was really close. I think everyone had a pretty good game for the Bucks besides Chris Middleton. It's really going to be a close one. But I think, quite honestly, I think the Boston Celtics are going to care maybe more to really show the NBA that they are ready to be legit title contenders. Not just, oh, they made the finals because of this and that, or, oh, they're still really young, they have a lot of time. No. I think the Celtics want to put a real name on the map for the Boston Celtics, not still being that up-and-coming team, and Jason Tatum is only 20 years old still. No. Celtics want to be taken really, really hard and consider it to be one of the best teams in the NBA. They are, but they want to be title favorites. They don't want to be contenders. They want to win a title this year, and I think them going to the finals in this cup against a potential NBA Finals matchup, well, Eastern Conference Final matchup, and taking the dub, I think they're going to want it more than the Bucks, who I think may have their eyes set on just building team chemistry and hoping to be better for the playoffs and maybe winning a championship in the NBA playoffs. Then for the Western Conference, we have the Kings and the Lakers, and I'm going to give the win. I'm going to give it to the Sacramento Kings. Oh, God. I think the Sacramento Kings are going to go on a Cinderella run. I think they're going to be the first Cinderella team of these bracket in-season tournament games. They're young enough to care. They have star power to, get them there. They have the talent. And they are playing a lot better than they did at the beginning of the year. I think the Lakers are going to go so hard against the Phoenix Suns that in a couple days when they play this matchup against each other in Las Vegas, sure, it is going to be like a Laker home game, but in my opinion, again, the Lakers are not going to give an arm and a leg to be the in-season cup champions. LeBron, I guess, maybe wants this on his GOAT resume, but he wants this team to be ready for the finals, for the playoffs. I think they can win this, and it wouldn't surprise me if they would. trust me, do not think. I don't want you to also think the Kings are going to win, but I'm just saying the Kings, I think, are going to want this more than the Lakers, in my opinion. So I have the Kings going up against the Boston Celtics in the NBA's first ever Cup Finals, and I have, for my winners of the first 2024 NBA Cup winners, champions, I have the Boston Celtics. Yes, I have the Boston Celtics winning the first ever, I'm assuming annual, NBA Cup tournament in season blah 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 thing. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think the Boston Celtics are, they're young enough, they want it. I think they want to show the NBA that they are true title winners. Like, they're not going to be, oh, they made the finals a couple years ago against a star-studded Warrior team that was just, they're just immature. They're not mature enough. They're not there yet. I think they want to show the NBA and everyone that they are ready to win right now this year, and them winning this cup, I think it's going to get them there. So, with that being said, if I could rank the teams, which I think is also kind of a good thing to do, for my favorites, I guess, I have, for sure, the Celtics right below them, even though I do have, I guess, like, the Kings making it to the finals. I don't really think they will beat either of the Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks, so I actually have the Bucks as the second runner-up. I think they're also a team that wants to show the teams in the NBA that they might be struggling, but they are still maybe the best duo in the NBA of Dame and Giannis, and I think winning the cup here will really solidify them as, okay, so the Bucks are still, like, we still have to really worry about the Bucks. Yes, you do. So I have Celtics, Bucks, Kings, Lakers. Then I probably would have Phoenix if they really are healthy and get things going. Then below them, I think the Pacers are a team that could be very scrappy in these games, and if they can sneak past Boston, man, if something happens with the Bucks and it's just not there for them, or somehow some of the Western Conference teams just aren't really ready, I think the Pacers are, they have a star in Tyrese Halliburton, but if the others really play really well for this team, I think that could be very interesting. Then I'd probably say the Pelicans, and last I'd say the Knicks, but don't be surprised if the Knicks go on a run, because if they get fiery, I think they could do something. So, yeah, so those are sort of my picks, predictions on the NBA's in-season tournament. I am so freaking excited to see all this craziness go down. It's single game elimination, March Madness vibe and style, hopefully, and who knows, will these stars, the veterans, give it all like an NBA playoff game, or we will just see players trotting up and down the court? Will the young teams like the Kings, the Knicks, the Pelicans really give a damn about this, because they are teams that need to show that, hey, we are here and we are competitive, maybe. And maybe some up-and-coming teams as well that want to really show the world that they are here and still here, like maybe the Celtics, the Suns, the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll also have to see. So, with that being said, I'm really excited, so I hope you guys are as well. Thank you so much for watching tonight's video. Make sure you do like the video. If you do like the video, comment down below who you think is going to win the in-season tournament. Maybe what matchups you can see going which way. Maybe the in-season tournament MVP, if they have one. I'm assuming they will. And did you like the tournament? Did you like the games? Did you like seeing the new courts and stuff? Also, let me know down in the comments about that. And yeah, I love you. I'll see you again in another video very soon. Alright, guys.